What's up, YouTube family? Today is special, and before we start, I want to share a few things. First of all, thank you. Really, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I never thought in my life that I would reach 100,000 subscribers. A lot of you told me that, but honestly, I had my doubts. Today, I want to thank you because this channel now has over 100,000 people, 100,000 family members, because to me, you are part of my family. I love it when you stop me out there and, I don't know, say hi to me. I'm super friendly, and so are all the people I meet along the way. I want to share something special with you. I always said that when I reached 100,000 subscribers, I wanted to take a trip. I wanted to do something different. In this case, I have to tell you something personal, and it's that I've never left Spain. I mean, my trips have always been around Asturias because, as many of you know on the channel, everything I do here started because of my grandmother. Because my grandmother, and I hope I don't get emotional saying this, but anyway, my grandmother always said, and before she died, she told me that it made her really sad to die without having seen every corner of her Asturias. And well, I'm trying to fulfill her dream through my eyes so she can see all this amazing place that is her homeland. Wherever you go, the landscapes are just incredible, honestly. Forgive me if I get emotional, but this is something very important to me, because my grandmother had a huge impact on my life. She gave me the education I have, and I love it. I love being able to do this for her. I couldn't do it in person, since she was very ill in her last years, and I couldn't take her to all the places I wanted. But anyway, having said that, I want you to know that I would love to do something, and I want you to leave it for me in the comments, and above all, I'll see if it pays off or not. Because what I want is to travel and get to know all the places where people from here in Asturias had to emigrate for many reasons, like the war, work, and a lot of other circumstances. That made all the Asturians have to leave Asturias. At first, I would like to go to Argentina. I've never left Spain, so for me this would feel like what an Asturian experience is when emigrating. Not under the same circumstances, but for me it would mean leaving my comfort zone, putting my business aside, and taking a 15 or 20-day trip, which is a lot since I'm self-employed and have a business and expenses to manage here. And during that period of time that I'm away, I won't be able to take care of them. So this is where what I'm asking for comes in, your help in a way, okay? YouTube has been offering me the option to have channel members for a long time, which is a monthly subscription. You could access a lot of different material compared to what I usually upload to YouTube. Videos that I have set to private, even live videos that I could do, and many more things. Badges, emojis, a lot of things that I could offer you, even early access to videos before they are released. There will be, at first, I'm still organizing it, but I think there will be a couple of subscriptions. They will be silver and gold, so that it can be economically viable for any of you to subscribe. It starts at just over $2 and goes up to $9.99 for the gold one, which gives you access to many things. If you look around the channel, I'm not sure where it appears now, but you'll find it somewhere below, or by browsing, you'll see how to join and subscribe. I want to do this. I've never activated it before because I don't think I should ask you for anything at all to be able to do adventures. I can afford it myself with my job. In this case, it really wasn't possible to do something like this. The main idea is to leave a town in Asturias with a suitcase, like any Asturian who went abroad, and arrive in Argentina. And above all, there to meet with all the Asturians, because in the Asturian centers, in a lot of places in different countries, there are locations where Asturians have settled. The Asturian Center, which is like a neurological center, where all the Asturians live their lives and have a community among themselves. So, anyway, I hope you understand the message here. I'm not asking for anything. In fact, I thought about it a lot, but I think it's the only way to make this trip possible. I need to raise money to keep my business here and make the trip there. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible. I already have contacts there. For example, in Argentina, I know people I can talk to about their experiences with emigration and the difficulty of not being able to return. So I won't go on much longer. I hope I explained it as best as possible. And today we're going to meet a person who truly is incredible where she lives, because she lives completely alone. She left everything behind to come live here. I think I would do the same. So that's it. I'll leave you with the intro and let's get to it. Well, now the real adventure begins, because from now on I'm going to start heading into a kind of little forest, and we're going to lose signal. So, well, knowing that this is an area with quite a few bears and wolves, it's a bit risky. Also because the slope going down and then back up is pretty steep. And well, if there's a sprain or something, you know that in places like this, being so isolated, it can be risky. What worries me the most is running into the bear because I know it's with its cubs, which makes me concerned that it might not be calm. Here, they usually go away, they won't attack you, but still, some of you tell me, carry bear spray, protect yourself. It's complicated. In Spain, carrying anything like that isn't allowed. But, well, they say that by talking and making noise, they usually don't come close, so that's it. I'm gonna go up to a kind of hill that's here and show you where the village is so you can get an idea. Look, the village is actually down there. I don't know if you can see it. It's hard for me to point the camera so you can see it. It's down there. We're going to have to go down this whole mountain, which doesn't look like much, but it's a few kilometers to get there. I don't know exactly how many. I'll tell you when we get there how far we've walked. But anyway, it's quite a descent because it's all downhill. Apparently, we have to cross a river and then go all the way up there. The woman is here, isolated as you can see. She's between the mountains in this valley. And in the past, that was all a village. The thing is, I don't know how many houses are still standing right now. When we get down there, if she knows the history, because she's French, she's not from here. She moved here to live. Let's check if she has any information and examine the house structures for clues. Meanwhile, let's head this way. Okay. Few people visit here, as you can see by the condition of this place. When more people usually come, the paths are much more open. But I don't think that's the case. I've already seen some videos of this woman because she appeared in the national press. But anyway, the topic is pretty much forgotten now. What I do think is that we're going to really enjoy this trail, going down among all these trees, because this is a traditional forest like the ones that used to be here in the past. No eucalyptus or any of those recently planted here in Asturias. So let's head over there and I'll show you all the cool things I find along the way. I want to put you in the picture about something, and this would be the camera straight. Look at the slope. I mean, is there really this much of a slope to go down? I mean, it's crazy. Honestly, I don't know how this lady at her age manages because she has to go up to the nearest town to buy some things. And just looking at it, I'm sliding and I'm wearing heels. The slope here is really steep. I hope she has a horse or donkey to help her because otherwise I honestly don't know how she manages. I don't understand how she found this place because just imagine how the village must have been in her time, completely buried. I honestly don't know, but the route itself is beautiful. What I'm thinking about is the way back because I've been going downhill for about 15 minutes, but it's really, really steep and I can only imagine the way back up. What this is going to mean, I think I'm going to end up exhausted today. Another thing I was thinking is that this is one of the most isolated villages I've found here in Asturias, where I had to walk down, at least isolated in the sense that you can't get here by car. Well, there have been a few, but this one doesn't have a road, it's all just a path. And honestly, I think this is the one that impresses me the most, because I'm reflecting on the people who had to live here. It's understandable that people left because even if you had horses or whatever you needed to move goods, in this case it's really justified that it ended up abandoned. And what surprises me, like I was saying before, is that this lady decided to come live here. This is paradise, but it's just too isolated, especially at a certain age. I don't know what she'll tell us about this because it really catches my attention. I want her to enlighten me about it. I was looking at these, look how big they are, they're chestnut trees. And look at the trunk, it's incredibly big, man, impressive. There are a few around here. Along the way, I'll record another one for you a little further down. You're going to be amazed. Look at this one, it's crazy. I mean, it's huge. Huge, really huge, man. It has a hole here that I don't know why. Maybe it's sick or something. If any of you know why these chestnut trees have these holes here, I would really appreciate it if you told me the truth. But at the very least, that tree could be 400 years old. Let's see if we can make it to the river because honestly, I still hear it very far away. We finally made it to the river. Oh my god, and here it gets a bit flatter because I swear my legs are shaking a lot. To go up, I'm going to have to make several stops because I think now we have to cross the river and I can see it there. I don't know if you can see it from here. I don't know if it's visible, but there's a traditional bridge over there. I mean, a wooden one. I think I can record it closer. Hold on. Look how amazing the river and the bridge are. It's closed over there. I don't know if I'm hoping that Francine is around here. I'm crossing it with excessive confidence, but let's see, because there's like a little note or something here. There's a little note here. Please don't remove it because the mare will escape. Thank you. Oh, good thing Francine is here. It wasn't that she's not here and left us a note. Well, look, now we know she has a mare. So if you come here, don't remove this because it will escape. It must be that someone doesn't understand and removes it from the way, but anyway, we have to jump over it and keep going because I think we're already entering. If that's there, this must be the village entrance. We're already starting to see the traditional little walls that were at all the entrances to the villages to hold the land in place so it wouldn't slide onto the roads. And from what I've seen before, there shouldn't be much left, but I think we still have to climb a bit more to get there. So let's see. Honestly, even though the path is difficult, I'm really enjoying it, honestly. Look. See, you can already make out the path here. I'm a bit tired because honestly, it's really tough. Or maybe I came too fast because I was excited to see it, but look, over here you can see this thing that I really love. The old path. And we came from all the way up there. Everything here on camera looks close, but well, I've been injured for a while. I haven't been able to go out and train because I got injured. You can tell, even if it doesn't seem like it, I've gained some weight and overall it's great. Well, let's see if we get there. I think it's just around the corner now. I don't know if I'm going to overwhelm you with so many stops along the way, but I just found an idyllic spot. The river runs down here and look at this corner. What a sight, and the camera can't capture nature's true colors. But it has some really intense greens mixed with the shadows. Look, I imagine this must have been the old bridge that the people in the village used to have, but I think Francine restored it. Or someone, because I don't think this could last so long. Look, that's amazing. With the moss, I don't know, I really like these little corners. They give me a lot of peace. I stopped to show them to you because I think you enjoy them as much as I do. And now I think the path goes up that way. I hope I'm not taking the wrong path, but I think it goes up that way. I thought it was this way, but no, we have to keep going that way and see if we find it. I hope I don't get off track and end up somewhere else because this area is a bit tricky, but it's idyllic. Well, I think I've arrived because I see a tarp over here. Look, this one has the mare here. Look, he has the mare here and chicks. I don't know if you can see them. There's a hen with her chicks. But there are already farm sounds here, so I think he must be around here. Francine, look over there. There are kittens here too. One got scared of me, and over here it has this little corner. I don't know where we'll find her, but oh well. I think this is her home. Hello, Francine. How are you? I came to meet you. How are you? Yes, well, someone else is coming down the road, but I was really looking forward to meeting you, honestly. Wow, where you live, it's like paradise.
Well, you see, sometimes paradise has its little devils. If there are problems with the neighbors, I'm going to ask you an important question. If they're still down there by the bridge, yes.
Yes, with the sign.
You know what happened? There was an iron gate. Well, it wasn't mine, but it had been put there a long time ago for horses that used to be here. They took that gate away from me recently, then they took the posts, and the only thing I had left was to put this up. Because I have a mare, Primavera.
I've seen her here.
Let her cross the bridge or there will be trouble. What about the people?
Yes, I noticed you even put up the poster. The one of...
A guy who set it up for me, sweetheart.
Poster? Okay, you invite us in. Okay, we come in, okay. Francine is here showing me around where she lives. This is the chapel, right? Francine, you mentioned this.
Yes, it's the chapel of St. Michael.
Of St. Michael?
Of St. Michael, who was the patron saint of the town. And this chapel, when I arrived, it was empty, full of junk, full of things. Well, it looked completely abandoned, and at the time it didn't have any lock at all.
It didn't even have a lock.
No, it didn't have a lock. It has none. Inside it's like a minefield that people put there between 90 and 95 from what I've been told. A family from Tablado and their friends rebuilt the chapel because the last family left in 69 from this valley to the mine, and then the village burned in 70 or something, so that
It burned down.
it burned the whole valley. It burned again in 80, according to another gentleman. Well, the chapel was the only thing rebuilt for them.
Symbolic, I imagine, right?
No, it was for the idea of remaking their St. Michael festival every year at the end of the year in September. Well,
How many people lived here in this village? Do you know?
a man who came from the cadastre office in Oviedo told me that in the 40s or 50s there were about 96 people.
96 people,
This village had about 96 people or so.
and without a road. I kept thinking about you, especially your age. Would you like to share how old you are, or would you rather not? I'm being polite since some people prefer not to say.
There's no problem.
How old are you?
I'm 60 and I'm going to be 61.
61. I kept going down, wondering how this woman managed it without a road and on such a steep slope. Your legs shake just descending. I can't imagine climbing up, especially with all the loose stones. And that catches my attention, how those people were able to live here without vehicles, without even a road, and how you decided, how you found it, and how...
Did this turn off for you?
No, it's recording, don't worry. It's for battery saving.
Because I can't see myself anymore, that's why I...
Don't worry, it's battery saving. But that's what catches my attention, how you found it and decided, under those circumstances, to come here, and how those people could live here.
I'll quickly tell you the story, but a book has come out written by a young guy, and I'm going to give him some publicity so people can listen to the story again and read it more calmly. It's called The Extraordinary Life of Ordinary People. There are 10 stories, 5 men, 5 women, and one of them is mine. Okay, the publisher is Colima Books, and the author is Ivano Hongoren.
Ivano Hongoren. Okay, I'll leave it. Don't worry, I'll leave it.
I still have a problem, okay.
Relax, don't worry.
So, well, quickly, I've been living in Spain since 2001, but I lived in Andalusia and I have problems from birth. To be able to breathe well, in 2009, I decided to leave Andalusia and come to this area, but I searched on the computer, I searched for land, I found dolls, I found a network park and all that. I started with the network park, I came with my dog by bus to Oviedo, then wow. Because I couldn't stand seeing her down here with the suitcases, so I bought a shopping cart. We went walking, sleeping here and there in the fishing cabins. We went all the way to Tabliz at the entrance of Muñelos. She had a very clear idea of what she needed things for. An abandoned village, because the old villages know how to place themselves properly with no problems with rivers or other things. No road to avoid pollution, far enough from a village to be comfortable and breathe in the forest. No pollution, neither noise nor any other kind of pollution.
Acoustic or light pollution.
All that acoustic stuff, right? And also with chemicals from cars, from tobacco, from all of that. Well, to avoid all that, to be able to breathe. And with water that came from the mountains, from some river or some spring. And the altitude is very important for me because I can go down 600, but after 2 or 3 days I turn blue. Yes, there's not enough oxygen in my blood because I can't breathe properly. And so I can't live down there. Now I've realized as the years go by that it gets worse each time. There's more and more pollution below 600, and above 900 I can go too, but I can't stay for long either, of course, because every time you go up it's higher.
The oxygen is also worse, so you have a middle ground.
Exactly. The higher you go, well, I can go, but I don't stay either because I turn blue. Lack of oxygen because there's less oxygen in the air.
Of course.
Every time you go up, you know.
I mean, the illness you have practically prevents you...
No, it's not an illness. I was just born with my arm like this. It wasn't stuck just in this position. So I was born with my chest very flattened, without ribs on this side, and my heart turned around and went to the other side. So I had 8 surgeries. The first one was when I was a little baby in Paris with Professor Feuve, who saved my life. He placed a mesh to protect my heart's roots and my small amount of lung. Then another operation, one of them was a graft from the ribs from the right to the left, but they grew a little bit inside. So they protect the roots of my heart, a little bit of my lung, but I do breathe from the top.
Of course, it also stops you from breathing. Now I understand.
So I breathe like the Tibetans. I learned to breathe in a different way. And also, well, you can't see it very well, you can't hear it, but if you pay close attention between each word, you can see that I speak faster. Worse. It's not that I'm nervous, but that I breathe between words instead of between phrases.
Okay. Well, it's understandable. But look, it's interesting. It's interesting that you also came here for your health.
For health, for nothing else. Directly for health, because I had finished a diploma where I was living to make web pages for people, and they treated me like I was stupid. Because how was I going to put myself in an office with the oxygen tank in the city when all I wanted was not to carry the tank, not to be plugged in the city, locked in a glass bubble, but to live outside?
Well, in nature, yes, it's impressive. With the air, honestly, I can't do a drone shot because it's a natural park, like you said.
You have to ask for permits.
Yes, you would have to ask for permits, and well, they're complicated. It's really hard for me to get them because in natural parks, they make it quite difficult. Yes. But anyway, I don't mind. The experience of being able to come and talk to you is enough for me. I understand that you lived alone for a long time, and now you are.
Since I live, like I was telling you, I arrived at Monelos Park in 2009 in July. Many people saw me walk by, and the story was hilarious. And well, here in the park, I looked for the map because all park maps have a lot of directions, right? And that was the idea. If I found 2 or 3 similar towns with everything, then I could, for example, go see them. Yes, and well, if there was no town that had everything I was looking for, I would go somewhere else. There was just one, it had everything, and it was called El Coralín. And well, Coralín...
Which is where we are. I haven't said it until now, but it's where we are. Relax, yes, relax. It's just that there are a lot of... She's saving me right now. Since I have the camera, she's saving me from an Asian wasp because I can see you have an Asian wasp infestation, right? Yes. Yes, and I have an allergy, so she's trying to scare it off. Anyway, you mentioned you also have issues now because of your traditional beehive.
Well, I had not traditional, it's the usual hive, right? Yes.
The traditional hive? Well,
I had 4, I didn't have any problems, and last year the Asian hornets arrived. Even though I'm here at 650 meters above sea level, the hornets came, they killed 3 hives, and the last hive is holding on as best it can. But you have to know that these animals, these insects, don't just kill bees, they go to the flowers, they go everywhere. Well, that's why they have a problem, because when there are insects anywhere, even if there aren't any bees, you'll still see wasps, because within a radius of 4 kilometers, if I remember correctly, they told me, if there's a nest, there are wasps. They look everywhere, not just in the beehives, but they search in the flowers, in the fruits, anything that can be eaten as meat. I mean, all the insects end up in the pot. It's awful. They behead them and take the rest.
the body, right? We have a plague with this here in Asturias.
Before there wasn't Adegania, and now I've been told that they do have it. So, well, that's it.
They must like me. I must smell good since they keep asking for photos.
No, they always come. They always come.
I was saying, are you living completely alone here now, or are you with someone?
Well, I arrived, how can I put this, right? In July, in the park, I found Coraline, but I didn't come because they were building the aero tunnel. I'm not going to say it right, sorry. And so, well, I turned around, and on the 1st of August, I came back. I arrived up there at the chapel you've seen.
Yes, the one I've seen up there far away.
And then after that, on August 2nd, which was a Sunday, I went down at dusk with the help of a girl at first, who then turned back at the bridge, and I ended up alone with the packages. And I had my little dog, Maximiliana Max, and that's it, and I got here. I had left the dog at a new table, which surprised me because in such an abandoned place, a new table seemed very strange to me.
Yes, I saw it on the way, a table that caught my attention.
I'll explain why later, but when I got here, there was nothing. Everything was abandoned. The trees were this high. Everything was burned because it was August. An abandoned chapel, but above all, a wonderful thing, a white, grey and brown wolf here in the square waiting.
A wolf?
A wolf? Months later, Chief Guard Antonio, who is now in Pravia, I think, came to me and told me he had found the den. That it wasn't unusual for the wolves to be there because I set up my tent on August 2nd.
Ah, you came in a tent.
I came with a tent and my things, that's all. I had already left, my mom had gone to France, and I came to live here, and that's it.
Impressive. What courage, huh?
No, when you need to live to breathe, you're capable of doing anything. I arrived here in very bad shape, very bad. I mean, the people who remember me will tell you I was really in bad shape.
Let's hope someone who sees me remembers you in the story, since Francine has lived here for years. And, well, I knew the story. I already, like I told you, I really wanted to come and meet you, but, well, for various reasons, I never got the chance. I tried to come before, but couldn't for different reasons. Today, I finally made it and met you. And for you to tell me a little bit about the story of why you're here, above all, and aren't you afraid to be here alone? Well, look, that's something everyone asks, because when I go to places I don't know or that are very isolated, or when I lose phone signal, I understand those are silly fears, but it's something that catches my attention.
Look, it's not silly to be afraid. It's a problem of our civilization that we always depend a lot on things that, if they go out of service or if we're far from people, we think something bad is going to happen to us. But that's just a way of thinking that our civilization has. In the past, there were no cell phones and people managed just fine, you know?
I'm getting over it. I'll tell you that right now I no longer feel that fear I felt at the beginning, because doing these videos and getting into this, well, I've always gotten into nature, but over time I realized that I used to avoid putting myself in risky situations. And now I'm getting over it. I realize that I'm overcoming it little by little. If we have it around here, stay still.
She's just looking for food. You were too big for her. Yo también.
That's what I was saying. I'm getting over it, but many people still stop me on the street and ask, Alvaro, aren't you afraid to sleep where you did or go into those places? That's why I wanted you to give me that perspective from your point of view.
Well, it's also a way of looking at life. If I had to be afraid, I think I would be more afraid of humans than of animals. I can explain, for example, that once I was carrying packages at night and thought, if I go without light, I'll fall with the packages and end up sleeping there. And I slept in the forest, and in the morning I found bear poop like this, about 50 centimeters from my feet on the path. So it left me its calling card to say, do you smell it? Were you sleeping? You should go to sleep.
And it didn't do anything to you, huh?
Let's see.
Of course, I mentioned it earlier.
Right, with the animals, right? Take it easy. I've lived here 14 years. There are a lot of people who just gloss over things when there's an accident. I can assure you that whether they're wild animals or domestic animals, it's the same. If there's an accident, it's human error. Why? Because we don't know how to live in peace with them.
We don't know how to relate.
It's not even with ourselves, of course. We don't know how to live with others, and we don't know how to live with ourselves. And even less with animals, because we think they can't talk, they can't think, they have no mind, and they're not intelligent. Well, there are a lot of things to say here, but I won't go on. But if you behave properly with an animal, that animal will leave you alone. There's no problem. I came across a mother with babies. A bear, right? Everyone says they're dangerous. Of course, if you go and touch the baby or act silly or shout or throw a stone or whatever, of course you're going to have problems. But if you stay still, turn around, don't touch and walk away, well, the animals know you're not afraid and they won't do anything to you. Never, never in 14 years.
But do you turn your back or do you just back away?
No, I back away first so it sees that I'm leaving without moving too much, and then when I'm far enough, I turn my back and leave.
I've always wanted to ask someone who's experienced it, since I mentioned earlier this is wolf and bear territory. Yeah, and I'm always terrified of running into a bear, not a wolf, but a bear scares me more. Because of the cubs, they always told me about that. I think it's an unfounded fear, you know, but still, they always warned me.
Well, there was a time in France, it was the same, right? There was an old time, and that stays with us as time goes by, doesn't it? Little Red Riding Hood, Rora, and other stories. It may not seem like it, but it stays in our minds. I remember that, so the kids from the countryside wouldn't sneak out the window at night. The parents would tell them, the devil will take you, or the bear will eat you, or the wolf will kill you. It was a way to prevent it, but it stays with you. If you keep telling a kid they'll fall, they usually do. Yes.
Yes, I understand you.
If you tell someone they're going to have problems, they usually do.
Yes, I understand you perfectly.
Do you understand me? If someone is thinking, I'm going to fall down the stairs, I'm going to fall for sure, on the last step the person will fall. Yes. So that's our civilization. We always live in fear of our own butt. Sorry for the word. Yes, 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 I understand you. But it seems like we can't get past that. Fear that something will happen to us, fear of COVID lately, yes, fear of this, of that. Look, my mom and I are without the vaccine because we can't get it. Well, we get by. Maybe we had it, I don't know.
A lot of people visit you here, right?
Well, now something else. No, not that many come. I come here. When you don't bother an animal, it leaves you alone. But for example, I don't bother some neighbors and I'm having a lot of problems.
Yes, so there are neighbors who don't want you here.
It's just that there are people, well, after I arrived at first, the incredible thing about this story is that these people helped me build the cabin. At the end of August, on the 31st, 11 men and 1 woman came to help me set up the cabin. They helped me carry things. Well, extraordinary, right? I was amazed. I said, what wonderful people. Well, and a month later, I saw 60 people arrive. With their bagpipes and everything, they had a party here, but they had to clean the chapel because since I didn't know anything, hadn't touched it, right? The chapel was full of junk, unused, abandoned, apparently, except for the new tables. They put those tables in the year before I arrived so that the people who come to have the party could eat and sit down. Well, then at the end of the party, when they left, I said, that's it. Now I know how I'm going to thank them for the help with the cabin. So I'm going to clean the chapel and put flowers in the village and everything. Well, that worked without any problem. I don't bother anyone. I don't go to see them at their house. Later in 2011, one of them, I started to make a path through Muñelos. He had a problem. That's his business because you can't open a path through Muñelos.
He made a path without permission.
Well, he built the first cabin up there and 2 other families built 2 more. Well, it doesn't bother me. I'm delighted, thinking they're going to come for the weekend with kids, and in the end, no one comes, right? But every time they do come, it's not often, but there are herbicides, they cut down trees. The last thing they've done to me is threaten me so that I leave with my mother. They made a road here. I don't think they had a permit from the city council. Well, a huge thinning. They take it out on me. They blame me for raising the alarm. But the first time they asked to build a road, they were flatly denied. Because there's a mine here, it's a very protected place. They can't open a road.
That's not possible in a natural park.
It's just not possible, honey, so they made this road almost without permission. And then, of course, they took it out on me.
They thought you raised the alarm and wanted it taken from them.
Well, the only thing I did was call to find out what was going on. Because I heard a shovel and I said, well, no, it can't be the shovel that's upstairs that they plan to do something upstairs. No, it was a shovel blocking the road.
You called just to find out what that noise was, not to snitch about anything.
It's just that I knew they didn't have the right to do it. And when my friends told me there was a shovel blocking the road, I said, that can't be. Normally they don't have the right. They've already been told no.
No, of course. They won't let me fly my drone in a natural park, so there's no way they'd let you bring in an excavator and dig up half the mountain without permits. It's logical.
Well, the problem now is that I want to kick out my mom.
I asked if you were alone because you're here with your mom.
No, I've been alone since I was alone until April 27, 2022 when my mom came. She arrived, she slept at Casa Martin here. I'm going to advertise them because they're wonderful people.
Casa Martina, right?
Casa Martin. Casa Martin. Okay, the bottom of Vega. They are wonderful people. Those people welcomed my mom after the long journey she made with the lady who brought her. She slept there. The next day she came and friends helped me too.
Of course, how did you bring her?
She walked down herself.
She walked down?
She walked down. Impressive. We had a chair. You have to know that my mom is 81 years old. She's turning 82 and she had cancer in France, 4 surgeries. Her heart is failing and she just wants to be at peace.
Of course, just like you.
And finish life in peace, of course. We have trouble with that because when the neighbors come, they don't come often. But the last thing they did to me was that, not long ago, right? They took the door from the bridge.
They removed the door from the bridge we built?
Then the posts that I had, since the posts were left, I put up tape and they took the posts from me.
So that the mayor escapes from you?
Well, they already gave me trouble with the mayor at the beginning. Then one of them threatened to kill her and, well, many things, you know?
Yeah, the usual problems that get you kicked out? We know this because there are movies about it that ended badly. Isn't there a movie set in Galicia where they didn't want the man in the village and it ended badly? It ended tragically because the family threatened him. It's called Las Vestas for those interested. Isn't it also about a foreign man who opposed something? Some wind turbines, and the families wanted to get money from them. And in the end, well, a dispute started and it ended badly because one of the families wasn't very stable mentally and ended up killing him. I don't think that's your situation, but in the end, they still make your life hard by taking things from you.
They took my food up there. They did a lot of things with the mare. Sometimes they lock her up here. Of course, poor animal, she doesn't know anything. If she's hungry, she just eats whatever she can find. The last thing they did on Saturday after Holy Week this week was to put a lock back on the door.
So that we can't, of course, we can't show you the chapel because it's closed, it has a lock and it's shut.
It's closed, nobody can go in, they don't want tourists. They've made it clear to me they don't want rentals in this valley. Well, they're a bit particular.
They're close-minded people.
It's a bit particular. They've mentioned the word terruño to me. I don't know if you know it. Well, it's not love for the land like Mr. Vitorino had, who was an exceptional person. He truly loved the land and wanted to plant trees instead of cutting them down. Well, he was a wonderful person who died at 57 years old just a few years ago. He worked here making bowls, you know, the old trade of bowl makers. Well, all those families, those people who made those heads, companies up there, have descendants who were bowl makers, okay, who lived in this village. Well, as they've explained to me, if I understood correctly,
The homeland, to make just one stop, because let's see if I understood you correctly. The term conqueros is, just so people know, to clarify, it's a traditional job that existed here in Asturias, which was making bowls, I imagine, out of ceramics, right?
no, not ceramics, wood.
Wood, okay.
They were people who made things, well, mainly bowls, I suppose, but lots of things out of wood.
Wood, okay.
And they would travel along the roads in winter through Extremadura and Andalusia, and they took the machine with them, a machine that works with your foot. Now with a machine, yes.
I recorded something about that on the channel.
That's it, right? People kept things and made little wooden shoes and other things, right? And those people, well, they came here for that.
Those Conquera people who made the bowls, they were the ones you were telling me about, who were sons and descendants of...
Well, those people, yes, Mr. Vitorino, who was a wonderful person who worked with his nephew Victor, who is still around. I think now Victor owns the bar at Ruganal. Up here with his wife and Rosa, Victor's mother, well, and Rosa's other son. Well, they are really good people, but even in the same families, you know, there are different kinds of people, right? Well, and since Don Vitorino's death, I've realized that there are a lot of things that are changing, so many. The famous homeland, well, it seems that some people have it more than others, and it's not love for the land, it's something like, that's mine, although, for example, I'll give you the example of the chapel, right? The priest explained it to me since I'm not Catholic and didn't know. He cleaned the chapel out of respect, right? But the priest explained to me that a place, when it's built, people build a chapel, right? Well, the first time a mass is held inside, the chapel is no longer theirs. Even if they built it themselves, it belongs to the church, and it's the church that owns the chapel and its grounds.
Wow, that's interesting.
I didn't know that. The priest explained it to me. Yes, of course. I mean, it can't be a lie, because normally you wouldn't expect a priest to lie, and he explained it to me. So, of course, those people seem to really think it's theirs. They built it, own it, and can do whatever they want with it, of course. They've sold almost all the permits they had here, but they still think the houses are theirs, you know? Yes. I mean, yes. Well, I have a friend from Madrid who bought a house in Asturias. Bad luck for her. The people who sold her the house still had the land. So she's there, she bought it, she's the owner, right? She's having major problems with them because they want to kick her out since it's theirs. Well, those are really strange things, right? They can lead to huge problems because it's a mentality, a way of seeing things that makes those people think everything is theirs, and if it's theirs, you can't have it. And if you have it, well, either they have it or no one does.
If it's theirs, it's no one's. There's a lot of that out there. I've come across it myself. Well, that's it. It really surprised me that you live here with your mother. Honestly, it's incredible. I wish...
Imagino que está...
And now she's happy, she's much better here.
She probably doesn't want to be on camera or recorded, and I respect that. I'm asking you because many people will ask me.
Besides, now she only agrees to see my nurse friend and a few friends, or the civil guard. But otherwise, she doesn't want to see anyone.
She doesn't want to see anyone?
Well, not even her friends, because she doesn't want any trouble.
We're going to respect that. I wanted you to tell me about how many houses you were able to count when you came here.
Well, look, it's complicated because there was a lot of ruin, but normally more or less based on what I've seen and what I've been told as well. 10 houses in the CHU area, which is this part here. 10 houses plus the chapel. In the middle, there was apparently the miller, the mill and one person. There were 2 or 3 houses here, and up above there were about 10 houses as well. Well, you have to remember that these are houses not like the ones today. They are very small houses down below where the water used to flow because they are all attached to the rock wall of the mountain down below. There was water, but they kept the animals there, and upstairs is where the people lived. But yes, I was told there were 2 bars back then. There was the road that came from San Antonio, which passed through here, the road that came from Cangas, which was the old road that this gentleman reopened, but now you can...
That's possible, of course it is.
In the middle of Muñelos, you can't get through.
And it closed, and what there is closed.
So she is...
Well, very good, Francine. Very interesting. The last detail, just to finish, is how do you support yourself here? I mean, how do you live here? How do you make a living? Many people will ask me, especially about how I manage shopping and buying food.
Well, look, before my mom was here, when I have money, because I sell hats that I make, I don't knit with wool. In 2004, I was living in Andalusia, in Granada, and they started taking away my French disability pension. And it's like they threw away all the records because the Spanish doctor at the time asked. I had to see the doctor again and redo everything. But I've been used as a guinea pig for a long time, so I don't have a pension or anything. Not even from Spain. This town is a ghost town, okay? It doesn't exist. Everyone knows it. It's marked on maps. But according to the city hall, you can't register here, so I'm not registered here either. Just like my mom wasn't in Andalusia, I'm not now either. And that's fine. It doesn't stop you from living. Since I don't agree with what's happening in the world, my way of dealing with it has been to get rid of my documents. I have my documents, but they're not valid. They're all expired. So basically, I'm not consumable, okay?
Sure, that's fine.
It's fine to renew my papers. French.
You've gotten out of the system, which is what many people want.
Es complicado, mira, estoy todavía...
I know it's very complicated, I know.
It's very complicated. But yes, the truth is that it's horrible because anything you buy is plastic and aluminum to preserve the food. It's a lot of junk, a lot of things. And now there's a cistern. Everything seems nice, but it happened. The river carried away the trash. And if you go a little further down the river, you realize that everything is polluted. Well, darling, it's a disaster. They sprayed herbicide here 3 times, and the small river carried everything away because there are springs up the road. They put chemicals for mice around the houses, which is forbidden here. From the beginning, I was very, very clear about it. I wasn't going to come with a phone. I had it while my mother was alive, but we don't have it anymore because we don't use it. That doesn't mean I didn't still have it the other day, and when the neighbor attacked me, everything happened the same way, right? Well, yes, you have to know that the voice came very close to me because he broke the front door. The idea was to tie it however I could with a blue thread, one of those plastic ones. But anyway, it was terrible. Last November 5th...
Last November 5th, did that happen to you? Yes.
Yes. Death threats to my mare. They cut down trees and then...
It's recent. It's very recent.
It's just, look, worse and worse. Things are getting more and more out of hand. The last thing, I'm telling you about the door, because what they want is for the mayor to leave. They want this place.
They definitely want you out. Come on.
They leave me out.
But here we're already leaving a testimony. In case something happens to you, any problem, well, I mean, obviously, let's hope nothing happens to you. But now there's already a witness here that you're being threatened, that you're having problems. And at least now there's a lot of evidence that could justify who the people responsible for this might be.
Well, look, the thing is, honestly, it left me completely stunned because I'm telling you the help came from them, okay? And lately, things just keep getting worse and worse, yeah. I don't even greet them because I stayed and I don't want to run into them. Because once, right after I had made the way for one of them with another, and the wife of the other, and the wife As she passed behind me, she hit me on the back with her cane. I had stepped aside to let them pass, and it left me breathless for a while and with back pain. Still does. Now, every now and then, and telling me to go to hell, well, that's this lady's favorite word.
I'm really sorry that you have to be living through this today.
They're not here today, you're okay.
Do you live day by day? I imagine how you carry the groceries down.
Well, you already asked me, that's why. To a group, honey, because on my shoulder now, because the water I have in spring is a wonderful gift that Hector gave me, a friend who has a website, Riding a Dream. I took her with me on October 31st. She was 3 years old, the mare, and well, I used her 4 times. Is she still afraid of the bridge? If she crosses it, is it because someone pushes her and she goes? She gets mistreated like she's been mistreated many times before, but I won't use her until I'm sure no one does anything foolish. Because if she crosses the bridge with me again to carry the weights like she did the first few times, then she'll cross it alone. So from this moment on, well, the 4th time, she had crossed this bridge with me, so they started arriving at the open door. By the end,
It's like a reassurance that she won't cross the bridge.
it's just to protect her now.
Me.
They did it once, and Mr. Antonio, the chief guard at the time, who I think is now in Pravia, if he's still in Pravia, was Mr. Antonio, chief guard of Manilos. He had allowed me to take her through the park again because she was young and the neighbors had forced her through before. Because over there on the other side, that neighbor who threatened me on November 5th, well, he built there. He says he has a fierce one. Well, maybe he does. I don't know. The thing is, he doesn't want people crossing the Prado. So, when he cleared the path, he did it over there on the other side of the villa. Because when you come from the villa, isn't it right at the entrance of the path that comes all the way here to Coral? And from the villa. He made a huge gate in one spot, with the river on one side, the rock on the other, and a locked door and everything. Well, it was a huge clearing, but at that time he had that door closed, and I ended up finding myself on the other side.
Of course, just imagine the mess.
I had to go look for her. I asked for permission to go back, and the chief guard was incredibly kind and a good person, as he always has been. And that's it. I walked back through the park with her to avoid the road. I mean, well, just imagine, there are quite a lot of things.
I don't want you to think living here is completely idyllic. It's not all perfect.
That people too, especially after everything that happened with COVID. I don't want to make excuses for those people, but you have to see that, for example, I met their grandparents. Okay, their parents were wonderful people. And I think that having worked in the mine, well, it made one generation behave differently. Not all miners are like that, because I know many miners. I have friends who are extraordinary people, but some of them, let's say, turned out a bit sour, right?
Sí, sí, sí.
Well, those are the people. There are only a few, but it's a bit too many for such a small place.
But they've gathered here.
They've gathered, that's it.
Well, Francine, I hope you can keep living happily here, especially your mother, for as long as she has left. And for you too, because, well, I imagine you'd like to die here too, right?
Of course, I'll do all I can for that, but when I'm much older, okay?
Very old, yes, yes.
Mom too, not from fright, not from old age. And I'm going to finish that shopping thing you asked me about.
Yes, tell me.
Well, normally I have the possibility here of having people bring food up to me, for example, the baker or the mailman who brings me letters or things like that, right? When I have money, because I make hats to sell and to be able to survive, now I have my mom to take care of, plus the animals, so when I have money, I give it to her.
Well, let's encourage people to come here to meet you, to Coraline here in Degania, and buy a hat from you, which is what I'm going to do. In fact, I'm going to buy one from you, okay? I'll show it on camera, see what you have, and buy one from you.
I'll take advantage of the fact that you tell me this is going to reach a lot of places. Please, can the aunt of the nephews come to pick up the hats you asked me for the girl and the boy? Because I've had them here since last year.
I hope they see it for you.
And I'll explain why. It's because they've spread the word. A forest ranger from Ibias told me, a friend from Ponferrada told me, and another person from Masleros told me. They're spreading the word for the second time that I'm not here, and neither is my mom. And of course, there are people who have asked me for hats.
They're here.
They're made, and the kids will grow up.
Sure, perfect. So I'll leave that there. It's important that you come pick up the things. It was just that I wasn't there at the time, but they're here and ready for you.
Well, no, it's just that word is spreading that I'm not here. I don't know if those people had a problem or if it's because they've heard, because another family came to me recently and told me that yes, they had indeed heard that I wasn't here. They've been able to come and check.
Now they'll check that you're actually here.
Please don't believe what people say. I'm here. I've never left. I stay all year. For 14 years. On August 2nd, it'll be 14 years. And for a year now, I've had my mom with me.
Great, you stay there and we'll stay here.
We're not moving.
And also that a lot of people who follow me come to buy many things from you and can support you so you can stay here.
Wait, I'm not a machine. It takes me a long time to do it.
But anyway, just so you know, they can order it from you and come back later and enjoy a hat that you make for them, Jolene, which will last for...
Let's joke around a bit, okay? For now, I'm making hats because it's still snowing and cold in Madrid or in the mountain areas. But if global warming continues...
the change you're going to have to make bikinis.
I think I'm going to start making hats.
Yes, something you're going to have to do.
But for now, they're hats, okay?
Well, very good, Francine. Well, it's truly a pleasure to meet you. I'd like to finish the video if you could show me, even if it's just the area where you live. Could you? Will you show me from the outside? Well, let's go over there and you can show me.
Yes.
Yes, no problem at all. Come on.
Well, then here you can see the chapel.
Yes, they've already seen this, which is the chapel, the entrance. Look, there are some little wooden clogs hanging here.
With Don Vitorino because he loved trees very much. And when there are people who leave something in the wooden clog, well, I save the money and every year I try to buy trees. And well, also everything you see here, since I don't have money, are plants. Even foresters have brought me trees to plant. Rose bushes and plants to make the town beautiful for all.
How beautiful, Francine. What great work you do, I really have to tell you.
Well, no, look, for me, at first I had no idea how to do that, okay? Because the idea was, well, to survive first. I was very tired, but then I realized that, well, I liked making the village prettier and doing something, but I wanted to stay wild, okay? Not like those places in the cities or towns. Here, it's a forest.
Of course, yes, it still is.
And in fact, it has to remain a place that looks wild or possible. And also, well, the other day, in broad daylight, the fox chased my chickens, the rooster, the geese, everyone running everywhere, but my animals are free. They go to sleep.
Yes, we see it. We see that you have a lot of cats around here.
Those kittens are a bit of a problem. Here I act as a protector because every winter, well, people bring me cats from other villages. Wow. People come here in summer but leave in winter and bring me many of them.
Because they know you're here and that they get fed.
I have to give away the kittens because I have female cats and can't afford to spay them.
If someone wants a kitten, they should come here and adopt one from you.
This year I did find some. There are 2 kittens. A female cat brought them from I don't know where, but usually there aren't any small kittens here.
Oh, they're already grown up, huh?
It's just that it's a small breed, I don't know, but it hasn't grown much.
Yeah, it's tiny.
No, it's small. They're about 3 years old and won't grow anymore. Well, and here you have those famous ones. Well, you should know that I used to clean this before, but they've cut some things and I've let the handles grow because the houses are overgrown.
They're already demolished, aren't they?
They're about to collapse. And once one almost fell on top of a girl.
Of course, and it's dangerous.
And it's dangerous.
Yes, the village would be here, with some small walls visible in the vegetation, but she generally stays in the little house.
I stay in the village square, more or less along a path here over here. The neighbors have done a lot for me, yes.
With the problems you have?
I'm trying to do things so that things stay, but not too much effort until those elves calm down.
Okay, but I love it, you know? It's very beautiful, yes. I love it. I was amazed by everything you have as soon as I arrived. You have raspberries here, right?
Yes, raspberries, blackcurrants, also black gooseberries. That's the entrance to the house.
Look, this is the entrance to her little house. The kitten already thinks she's going over there and is going with her. But we're not going to go because, as I said, the mother is inside and we don't want to bother her.
It's just that this morning I cooked rice for them and I can't always buy food, I think. Of course.
But at least they eat, Francine.
But they eat.
Yes, at least they eat.
I cooked it this morning, but they haven't eaten yet because it's still hot.
No. Yes, especially with this heat we have today. I find this little fountain really funny. You can actually drink from it. See, you can drink here.
And here, well, the entrance has changed a lot. because I used to have a stone triangle here, right here, which is this path. Well, at the entrance here, I had put a lot of stones. I had built a wall and everything. And in this triangle, I used to keep all the mare's poop, okay? With the idea of planting a beautiful tree at the entrance and adding more flowers, and the neighbors next door ruined it for me.
They ruined everything for you?
They ruined everything for me.
It's a shame, Francine.
They threw the mare's crap right in the middle of the road, and of course now the mare, since it's on the ground, just keeps doing it.
Well, that's it, family. I'm ending the video here. I hope you enjoyed this topic. Francine, thank you for your time and for meeting me, since I really wanted to meet you. I had tried to come many times, like I told you, and I never could. So I'm glad because I'm taking away a really pleasant experience for myself inside because of the way you live. Thank you.
Well, I hope that's good for everyone.
I hope so. I encourage everyone watching to look up Coraline in Asturias. There are many articles. If you want to visit, as she said, do so with respect for nature. No chemicals, electricity, or running water. The only water comes from the rock. You know where you have to come. All the information will come up out there. That's it. I'll share my social media for anyone interested in following or supporting me or enjoying my YouTube content. See you in the next video.